Detective Robert Hawks, H-A-W-K-E-S, Gila River Police Department.
Perfect. So just tell us about the updates here.
Sure. We'll get into the beginning of it. On December 24th, shortly before 9 o'clock, Gila River Police Department was contacted reference a suspicious male who had a disabled vehicle. Prior to police arrival, the suspicious male, who is now identified as John Albert Campos Sr., was spotted on hotel surveillance walking through the parking lot. A confrontation occurred between he and Frank Pascua, retired Bakersfield police officer, in the parking lot where Mr. Pascua was shot. Mr. Pascua was later pronounced deceased at the Chandler Regional Medical Center. John Campos then carjacked another bystander who was driving by, who offered his assistance immediately after the shooting and left in his vehicle. Initial investigation, the vehicle was associated with a Frank Rojas, who was listed as a person of interest. With the media attention to this, we had numerous leads and contacts, and we were eventually able to clear Mr. Rojas. However, we were also able to positively identify his father-in-law, John Campos Sr., as the actual suspect. Last night we did get a federal warrant for his arrest, and we are actively looking for him. We have all local valley agencies assisting us, along with multiple federal agencies, and are working hand-in-hand with the United States Marshals Task Force.
You said something about matching tattoos, or is there anything that people can notice or see? Or?
Yes, as in the first media release, as you can see there, Mr. Rojas and Mr. Campos have similar physical features, and they also have matching tattoos. They are both very covered in tattoos on their upper bodies.
Do you have a description of the vehicle that was carjacked?
Yes, it was a green Kia Soul.
And do you have a license that you're looking out for?
We've already recovered that vehicle. Initially, after the investigation, we were able to track that vehicle. We did set up surveillance on a house that our suspect was possibly at. However, he had fled prior to that.
And what was the confrontation between the suspect and the victim in the parking lot? Did it have to do with the carjacking, or was it just, can you describe the confrontation a little bit?
I can say that as far as we know, there's no relation between the victim and the suspect. It's not believed that they knew each other, that it was just a random act of violence, and that our victim was trying to do what he's been trained to do his entire life, and that is stop a crying and a dangerous person who's on the street. Mr. Campos is a current federal fugitive of law. Anyone who knows where he's at needs to contact 911 immediately and let us know where he's at. And if you are now aware that he is a fugitive of law, you could be considered harboring a fugitive of law at this point.
And talk about everyday people. Should people be worried? Is he armed? Is he dangerous?
Yes, Mr. Campos is considered armed and dangerous and is a convicted felon.
Can you show a picture? Show everyone a picture.
Sure.
Of Campos?
That would be his.
All the cameras.
This is his ADC photograph.
Do you know what his prior convictions were for?
He has multiple violent convictions.
And do you know where he lives? Is he a resident of?
You mentioned earlier having the photos with all the possible suspect with all the tattoos really helped out a lot getting the visuals out there. Tell us how that played into finding out who the suspect is.
Well, due to initially listing our person of interest, a lot of friends and loved ones of Frank Rojas contacted us, and we were able to establish numerous leads after that, which got us far ahead in our investigation as far as being able to finally establish that they may look alike and have similar tattoos, but we were able to clear Mr. Rojas as that person of interest, and with that, at the same time, we were able to positively identify that it was his father-in-law, John Campos, who committed this crime.
Have you been in contact with Mr. Rojas?
Yes, we have.
And then is he a resident of?
Mr. Campos?
Yes.
Yes, he has. We've checked multiple valley locations that we believe that he's at, and it is believed that he knows that we're after him at this point.
And the victim, did he just move to Arizona, or did he have a second home here, or was he just visiting?
Sure. A little bit about the victim. Officer Frank Pascua is retired with the Bakersfield Police Department. Prior to working with Bakersfield, he worked for Delano, California Police Department. He moved to Bakersfield PD in 2003. I'm sorry, in 1997, he moved to Bakersfield Police Department. He retired in 2003, and he has a winter home here in the Valley.
What city? Can you Okay.
I don't want to say that at this point. I'm sorry.
Anybody else?
Think of anything else?
If people know of or see Mr. Campos, I mean, they need to consider him very dangerous, I would assume.
Absolutely. Mr. Campos is considered armed, dangerous, violent, and anyone who sees him, call 911 immediately, and we need to get him off the streets as soon as possible.
Categorizing him as armed and dangerous, I know he's killed somebody, but also his past history. Can you give us a little bit about what, he obviously he was a convicted felon, but if any of that involved, murder or anything like that, do you have any background on that?
Our initial investigation with this is just that we have multiple violent crimes that he's been associated with. I can't confirm exactly what those crimes are at this point. We're still working on that.
All right, cool.
Gang
You guys good?
affiliations or anything?
I'm sorry?
Gang affiliations?
We're still going to work with the Arizona Department of Corrections on confirming that before we put that out.
Okay.
As suspected.
And this is just off the top of my head. Any idea when he was released from DOC?
I don't have that information in front of me.
Just thought I'd ask.
Mhm.
We're good. I'm good. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Excellent, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.